Hey, everybody. No music today. A quick tour update. Last week, I posted tour update number 1, which takes you through Massachusetts. And here's what happened since. So I took a nice drive through New York State with a quick slumber in Syracuse, New York. I know you don't really care, but I just want to give you the deets. Made my way to Detroit, Michigan, where I met up with past guests Marley and Emily, and a small and very lively group at Jim's Community Corner in Ferndale, Michigan. It was a really, really nice conversation. I enjoyed myself in Detroit. Then headed over to the west side of the state, Muskegon. I think I'm saying that correctly. 3 past guests, Britton, Scott, and Larry. They're all in Michigan. Scroll back, now almost 300 episodes. You will find their episodes if you want to hear them in full. Of course, that goes for all of my past guests, including those on the tour. Again, a really nice conversation, a little larger audience, similarly lively, engaged. It's exactly what I was expecting, though pleasant surprises along the way for sure. That was at Chaotic Good Services. So I want to thank every venue that's been hosting me, all of them free so far. So thank you so much to my guests and to the audience. And I made my way to Chicago. Now, Chicago is the only event I've had that has not been on Eventbrite, so you won't see it there. There's a reason for that. I won't go into all the details. My guest was thus far the only guest I've had who was not a past podcast episode guest. Dan is also a friend of mine from the storytelling world, the personal narrative story stuff I used to do a lot of. I do a little bit now these days. He joined me in the theater. He found it, Theater Wit. He booked it. It's the same theater where he's having a storytelling event tomorrow night, which is Sunday. I realize you might be hearing this. You will be hearing this after the fact. We had a nice small audience. When I say small, I mean a handful of people. In some places more than that, and others the size doesn't really matter. I realize it's somewhat of a self-selected group of human beings who want to show up to something like this, but they have been involved. They've been engaged. They've asked questions. There's always been a conversation after the conversation, which I find really interesting. And I'm actually recording this in my friend Dan's apartment, a lovely, sweet high-rise on Lincoln Park. It's like, what a view. I know this is a podcast. It's not video. You can't see it. I'm looking at it right now. Is that Sears Tower, Dan? Now, I'm going to do this right now. I've never done this before. I don't think I've ever done this. But this is one of a different kind of episode, a tour update episode, you know? Dan's here. Dan just spent like an hour, 75 minutes earlier today, speaking with me on a stage, literal stage, an actual stage. The set for a play was there on the stage. We had to move some things around. It was live streamed for the second time on the tour. But this one was on social media, not just Zoom. I don't know if anyone watched, but that was kind of interesting. Each event brings with it its own sort of like interesting things and challenges. Dan is here. Now, of course, we hope our conversation will actually be an episode, which I can't necessarily say for the other conversations during this tour.
I feel like I learned a lot from this experience, and I'm excited to be on future suicide podcasts.
Okay, take 2. That's really sweet, Dan. Let's try again without patting me on the back and trying to say how amazing this experience was. This was live. We didn't rehearse this. I didn't prep you. I didn't even send you any questions beforehand. This is kind of unique because everybody who's a past guest, they know my style. We've talked. I send them questions. You just got up there. You trusted me not to do really weird shit. You trusted me to stay on track, stay on point, be fair, all those things. Now we know each other, so obviously it's not just I'm a stranger. I'm curious, was there anything that came up for you that you were really hesitant to share that you did share?
I was surprised how hesitant I was leading up to it. Like the overall topic, I think of myself as a person who has no sort of taboos. That proved not to be the case. Like I was worried about how I would come across and how people see me. I think that I move with a frame of like authority, and would this undermine like that for somebody who ran into it?
Totally. Your career's fucked, I think, Dan. So I was like, well, you also said one thing is you may have heard a podcast episode or 2 back in the day, but you don't listen. And you said something interesting. This is the final point I want to make. It pokes the bear. Is it poking the bear? When you listen, should you listen? Certain things around this.
Yes. I think especially like leading up into it for me, there was a big moment this morning where I'm on a walk and I was just like, why am I examining this? Like, what is the point? Like now I'm all upset This is my fucking morning and I'm upset. Like, I don't need to be upset. I've put this to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of reemerges. It's like a scab that you pick at. Like, let it be if it's going to be. But you made the point, when I asked you this, you made the point that I felt was my response on my walk this morning, where you were like, when you come to the podcast, it's not for you. It's probably for somebody else. At least for me, that was my thought process. Like, we're friends, so I wanted to do it for that reason. But also there was this idea of like, I think that there are some unique aspects to mine, the way I ideate about it, the way I think about it, that I don't run into. And it's valuable to have those sort of outliers for people to be like, oh yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I said something around, I think there's value to the person who I'm speaking with, but what doesn't get discussed or I think thought of too much is the people that hear it, you know, the people that are listening, wherever they are and whatever they're doing, because it's kind of cool, right? They're all over the world. Not that we have like this massive global reach, but they're over the world and they're doing whatever. They're on their run, walking their dog, in the car, hanging out on their couch, sneaking off at work. And they don't listen to it unless they need to hear something. And once in a while, it's like, oh, okay, I have almost nothing in common with him. But that thing he said about the knife or the cookie jar or his mother, right. And that's powerful, man. So I appreciate it. All right, y'all, listen, I'm going to be going, what's the story? We got, I'm actually doing Dan's show tomorrow. I'm telling a story. It centers on suicide. Shocker. His organization is called Story Luck. You can Google it, go on Facebook, socials, and check it out. Good guy, good organization. Hustling just like Suicide Noted. And then I'm going to go to Kentucky and Kansas City and Dallas. So the next tour update next week will include those locations. And the original episode that usually comes out Monday will be out later in this week. And then I hope by next week I am back on track with my regular Monday morning episodes and they will be up on Monday. It's been a hustle, but it's been worth it. And a reminder, of course, rate and review the podcast on Apple. Check out the poll on Spotify. If you want to make a financial contribution, tax deductible, the link is everywhere. It's Give Butter. No, you're not actually giving butter. givebutter.com/suicide noted. But however you are involved, however you participate, I really, really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more information. Stay tuned for more stuff coming soon. That's all I got. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I'll talk to you soon.